He confused Drew Brees last week, and he's one of the best at deciphering what a defense is doing. I think it's going to be interesting to see how he's able to handle that, that being Sam Darnold. But like you touched on, Joe, the real story, this place is electric right now. When you look at the schedule when it came out, these fans saw Pittsburgh, and they saw a trip to New Orleans. They said, those don't look too good. This game against the New York Jets, they circled this one as that W. They're ready to have a party here in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, we'll see if the Browns can give them that party. Let's go down to the field. You know, the Jets are playing their third game in the last 11 days. Quick turnaround, Aaron.
Quick turnaround. You guys mentioned Sam Darnold facing this Cleveland defense, and he told me tonight just going to use the lessons he learned in that loss to Miami and apply them to tonight. Go with your gut and trust that your wide receivers are going to be where you need them to be. His backup, Josh McCown, even joked with him and said, look, as a rookie, you said it, Joe, he's played 3 games in 11 days. I promise you the prep will get a lot easier. Smooth sailing after tonight. For more on the Browns, let's send it over to Christina Pink.
Hey, Aaron, alert Sam Darnold that Myles Garrett is bringing out the welcome wagon. He told me this week that he is absolutely licking his chops to face this rookie quarterback. He told me the key to slowing him down is to not let him use his feet. Don't let him get comfortable in the pocket and keep him out of those short and intermediate throws. He told me, hey, they've got a young guy. I'm ready to welcome him in. This Browns defense has 7 sacks through the first 2 games this season, and tonight they want to rattle the rookie, Joe.
All right, Christina, thank you, and thanks to Aaron. Welcome in Mike Pereira, our rules expert, and a lot of conversation. They're not over it in Green Bay, and in my opinion, nor should they be, for the hit that Clay Matthews put on Kirk Cousins, called for roughing the passer, and this literally cost the Packers a win. What were your thoughts on this play?
Well, I can understand why they wouldn't be happy in Green Bay, because to me, it is not a foul. I mean, he did everything you want a defender to do. But the league did come out and defend Tony Correni, who made the call, and even doubled down on it and sent it to the clubs. But I've done that too when I was there. You know, I maybe went occasionally too far to defend the official. But here's what I feel. If I was still there, I would say to the referees, don't change the way you've been calling it. So I really do think if you get 10 more plays just like this, they won't get called as roughing the passer.
Little solace to the Green Bay Packers and their faithful at Lambeau Field. They thought they had started 2-0. Instead, it is a 1-0-1 start. There's the weather, 81 degrees, humidity 67%. The Jets won the toss. They defer. The Browns get the ball, and that means we'll see Tyrod Taylor in this Cleveland offense to start the night. Glad you're with us on NFL Network. As Jason Myers will kick it away. Jabril Peppers watches it go over his head and out to the 25. It comes. Is it Tyrod? Is it Tyrod? Either way, he's number 5 for the Cleveland Browns, and he's coming off a better effort last week in the loss at New Orleans after a rough go in that tie here at home to start the year against the Steelers.
Yeah, not an easy place to play there in New Orleans, but you know, hey, everybody who watched that game saw what he was able to do there in the last 2 minutes, and he put his team in a position to win the game twice, and the kicking let him down.
They faked it to Hyde, and then a throw. Quick pressure by Jordan Jenkins, and a good start right out of the gate for this Jets defense. Let's look at this offense for the Cleveland Browns. They made a shuffle right at the end of the preseason leading into week 1 with Desmond Harrison, kind of the surprise left tackle, and then the backs and receivers. Antonio Callaway takes over the spot held by Josh Gordon in week 1.
Well, the future Hall of Famer Joe Thomas here in the building, and great career, and they replaced him with an undrafted free agent.
Taylor keeps, and a couple of plays for the Cleveland Browns. First an incompletion, now a run of 2 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 8. And this Jets defense very happy with how they started the season on a Monday night in Detroit. There were some missed chances a week ago in that home loss to the Dolphins.
Well, they've had some opportunities. The thing that has really helped them this year has been the takeaways. In an area where they had a hard time coming up with them last season, but of course many of those were in that week 1 win against the Detroit Lions.
3rd down and 8. This one is floated and out of the reach of Antonio Callaway, who showed his speed and what he can do downfield, the rookie from Florida. last week in New Orleans, but it is a quick 3 and out, and there was no room out there whatsoever for the Browns on offense.
Yeah, and Todd Bowles, we came in talking about Greg Williams and what he wants to do defensively. The Jets, they like that style of play as well. They bring the pressure there on 3rd down. They got one-on-one on the outside, but just not much there.
Britton Colquitt hits the punt. Andre Roberts with a fair catch at the 29. 44-yard punt, and here comes Sam Darnold. And you were kind of busy over the offseason leading into that draft looking at all these quarterbacks, and this was the guy that if you were a GM, you would have taken.
I would have, and I was a little surprised at the end of my evaluation period that I did peg him as the #1 guy. Going into it, I'd only seen him play a few times at USC, and they just happened to be games where he didn't play particularly well. But after studying all of them, he was #1 on my board, and I think he was #1 on the New York Jets board as well. And they moved up, gave up a lot to move up to #3, but I think in their opinion, they got who they regarded as the #1 quarterback in the draft.
They want to run it better today. Toss to Bilal Powell running left. And Powell on 1st down gets 4, knocked down by Jabril Peppers, who's getting better and better at that free safety spot.
You know what's ironic is when I went to Sam Darnold's pro day to watch him work out, of course all the scouts and the coaches are all there. I stood next to Todd Haley watching him work out in a downpour. Todd Haley, of course, being the offensive coordinator for the Browns with the #1 pick, and he was awfully impressed. But when they went through it all, John Dorsey's man was Baker Mayfield, and he hasn't gotten his chance yet, but I think he's going to have a bright future too.
And that future and that chance may come soon. Here's a throwback. That didn't work. And a nice play by the rookie Denzel Ward on a completion to Chris Herndon. Rookie on rookie. And a loss of 8.
One of the things that the Jets like to do is they like to move the pocket, and they will throw some misdirection off of that. Roll them out to the right. Of course, this is how he had the interception, the first throw of his career when he tried going downfield, but not fooled on the backside. And this Denzel Ward, tell you what, I'm really high on this young man. You get the #1 quarterback, in their opinion, in Baker Mayfield with the 1st pick, and then in the 4th, with the 4th pick, you take what was the best corner in the draft, and that's a heck of a first-year draft for John Dorsey.
3rd down and 14, and there was contact. There are no flags as Powell was the target with James Burgess, the linebacker in coverage. Burgess starting for the injured Christian Kirksey. And it's 3 and out on each side.
Well, Joe Schobert, the middle linebacker, I think that's why Sam Darnold had to double clutch it a little bit. He had a chance to get it off, but Schobert was there and got in the throwing lane. And then, of course, Burgess makes a play on the other end.
The punt with Peppers on a bounce. Dangerous grab, and he fields it cleanly on a hop, brought down by Middleton. For Lachlan Edwards, a 50-yard punt. 3 and out each side. Browns have it back, no score.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Bud Light, enjoyed by Giant Blue fictional nights everywhere, and by KFC's new 10-piece chicken feast.
Well, the Bud Light night guarding the fridge here in Cleveland with the mascots just dying to get their hands on a beer.
Well, I don't know what this stadium holds, but there's a lot of people not only here but all around the city of Cleveland hoping to get their hands on a beer by the end of the night.
Yeah, kind of explain that here if I can. This one's batted in the air and down it goes. So they call them victory fridges. It's maybe the greatest promotion in the history of promotions. There are 8 of those coolers in bars around town. There are some here in the stadium. Each have 200 beers inside, Bud Lights, and there's a Wi-Fi signal that if and when the Browns win, they send out the signal, the lock drops off, the chains drop off, and everybody gets free beer.
It's going to be pandemonium.
Oh, disco demolition night here in Cleveland. 2nd and 10. Taylor's been bothered, and this one is just thrown away in the direction of Jarvis Landry. Well, here in Northeast Ohio, and Browns fans across the country and world have to think back to Christmas Eve 2016, the last win the Browns put on the board. And they celebrated a 20-17 effort. And it's been 635 days since then. A winless season a year ago. 0-1-1 to start the season this year. Taylor trying to sneak out. Great job, and a first down carry and much more. He leads NFL quarterbacks in rushing yardage through 2 games, and he just got 22.
Yeah, Kevin Zeitler, he's going to get pressured back into quarterback Tyrod Taylor, and a pretty good job on the back end with coverage, and he's able to then escape. And you know, Tyrod Taylor, we've seen a lot of this through the first couple of weeks. Of course, that's part of his game, and he's been able to come up with some big runs when he's needed them. It's 3rd and 10, and he's 0 for 4 to start this game, not throwing it particularly well. And you can tell things getting a little chippy here in the early going. And we talked about how here in Cleveland, you know, they look at the schedule and they say, hey, this is a game that we should win. Well, let me tell you something. Jets coming off a tough loss against Dolphins. They looked at the Browns. They said this is a game we should win. So a lot of pressure on both of these clubs here in the 3rd week of the season to come up with a victory.
First down of the game. Here's a little toss back to Taylor. And Taylor and Landry wide open, but couldn't get it to him. Big pressure by Jamal Adams, who is a very good 2nd-year safety out of LSU.
He's an outstanding player now in his 2nd year. He's right here, and on the previous play, he came off the left edge. He's very good around the line of scrimmage. He's outstanding off the edge as a blitzer. But Tyrod Taylor able to get it out of his hands. This guy is all football. His father, George Adams, was a guy drafted in the 1st round by the Giants in '85 as a running back.
Handoff is to Hyde. Carlos Hyde, who was a free agent addition from the 49ers, gets 4. Avery Williamson on the stop, so 3rd down and 6 coming up.
Well, we'll see. Now, Tyrod Taylor, as I said, he's yet to complete a pass, and the last 3rd down that they converted was him scrambling to pick that up. It's the only one that they've been able to convert. See if he's able to kind of get back into some type of rhythm.
Jermaine Johnson not out there. He checked out with his helmet off on that 22-yard run by Taylor. Here's more pressure. Can't bring him down, and now aired out for Callaway. Contact. No flag, incomplete. Claiborne and Middleton in coverage, and they can't believe it here in Cleveland.
Well, we're going to take a look at it here on the end. The safety comes over, and it looked to me, Joe, that Middleton was playing the ball. Yeah, there's contact. I get it, and I think they could have called it. I don't know that it necessarily was a penalty.
Here's a great punt down near the 1 off the foot of Britton Colquitt. And Breanne Body Calhoun there. Hugh Jackson shaking his head. I wonder if that's remnants of that no call in the end zone. We'll hear from Mike Pereira after a play, as the Jets in a scoreless game start from their 1. Isaiah Crowell, former Brown, gets it and is able to drive out of the end zone with James Burgess there to make the stop. And Mike Pereira, what did you see on this no call on Callaway?
Joe, it is a good no call because what you have is 2 players making a legitimate play on the ball. They both have equal rights to it. They collide shoulder to shoulder. He's not playing through the back. It's almost like a Hail Mary situation. I think it's a great job of not calling interference.
2nd and 9. Trying the right side is Crowell out to the 4. Jabril Peppers down to make the stop. We saw Tremaine Johnson leave earlier. Aaron Andrews, what's going on?
Yeah, no official word from the New York Jets on that. We did see him go into the tent, and Joe, as we were told, obviously when we see them go in with the head specialist, that means that's what they're looking at. He did run into the locker room with him as well. I'll let you know when I hear.
So he is into the concussion protocol. Tremaine Johnson, a vital add to this team as a free agent.
We'll see what Greg Williams wants to do here on 3rd and 7, if he's going to bring pressure and try to put the hammer down on Sam Darnold in the end zone.
Rolling left, throwing high, incomplete with pressure by Myles Garrett. The target was Crowell, and Garrett has started this season in great form. Greg Williams told us he thinks he could be one of, if not the best ever at doing this if he stays healthy.
I think that when it's all said and done this year, he's going to be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. We saw him in the preseason. He was phenomenal. He was great week 1. He's just an exceptional player. Give Jeremy Bates, offensive coordinator, some credit on that call there. Move the pocket and get away from Myles Garrett and give yourself a chance. They don't pick it up, but now great field position to start this drive for the Browns.
After 2 3-and-outs and on the dead run, Jabril Peppers takes it inside the 40. And that's exactly what they've got. 43-yard punt, and on the return 9 yards with Kevin Pierre-Louis on the stop. Well, each side has got to be happy with the way their defense has started, but now opportunity knocking for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I thought one of the things that was interesting in visiting with Sam Darnold, that already at such a young age, he says the difference between pro and college is college, if you don't score a touchdown, you're disappointed. Pros, it's a field position game. He desperately wanted to pick up the first down. Hard to score when you're backed up like that, but change field position. They're unable to pick up the first down, and now you've got Cleveland on their side of the 50.
Jets get home and sack Tyrod Taylor as Avery Williamson got through. And he was not alone. Big Steve McClendon was back there. And they are coming after Tyrod Taylor.
Well, they are. They're bringing people off the edges, and they're testing this Cleveland protection. And quite simply, the Browns have not had an answer for it. That's the first sack of the ball game.
Hey, 5-4.
But they have been back there in Tyrod Taylor's lap throughout this first quarter.
Already been hit, knocked down 4 times. Taylor keeps. And after a loss of 7 on that sack, a gain of 3, and Henry Anderson made the play. Adams in there as well, and the crowd is growing restless with the start of this Browns offense.
Yeah, this Jamal Adams, I talked about him just a moment ago coming off the edge. He's around the line of scrimmage. He was right there to help make the play, and he is a smart football player. You talk to anybody who's been around him, even going back to when he was in college, and his acumen for the game and his ability has unbelievable range. He's as tough as they come. He loves contact. He's an old school safety. He reminds me of a guy like Ronnie Lott who could just do it all.
They're down at 14. Here's a pass to Callaway, and that does nothing. And this crowd is letting the Browns offense hear it. A gain of 2. And the first completion does basically nothing from Tyrod Taylor. And with that great field position, the Browns managed to mess it up.
Well, there's Todd Haley, the offensive coordinator, and as we know, this has been an offense through 2 games that hasn't been, all that productive. But they're playing an aggressive defense, 3rd and long, get the ball out, but to not come away with any points on that drive, where they started that drive, big disappointment.
30-yard punt here. A lot of energy in this building. No points so far. Nothing on Thursday Night Football. You are watching Thursday Night Football presented by Bud Light. There have been 5 possessions so far. 1 first down between these 2 teams. 5 punts. Settle in. From the 11 on first down. Toss to Powell running right. And a little room out there on the edge. Forced out by Carey. This defense for Cleveland, the first couple of games, well, they have done so far what they didn't do last year. They're racking up sacks, but the takeaways, they lead the NFL in takeaways after having 13 all last year. They already have 8 under the direction of Greg Williams.
The other thing that they've done a better job this year of is pass defense. It wouldn't show based on the total yards, but in facing both Roethlisberger and Brees, Roethlisberger threw 41 times, Brees 35, so the numbers are a little inflated, but they've been better.
Here's a pass caught on the edge by Enunwa, who has developed into Sam Darnold's favorite target. And a first down for the Jets, a gain of 14.
Last year, this defense was very good against the run, but they just simply couldn't cover anybody. And this defense this year is only going to be as good as their pass coverage. And that's why they went out and they drafted Denzel Ward. And they bring in Terrence Mitchell. And they basically rebuilt this secondary with Demarius Randall now playing safety. And it is a much better group. Last year, they were playing a lot of base coverages, even against 3 wide receiver looks. Quite simply because they had no confidence in their secondary and being able to hold up. Not the case this year.
Darnold out to his right, running for his life, and throws it away. Fire the target. And with that, we will tell you that Sunday at 9, Kurt Warner goes one-on-one with Russell Wilson. Plus, the guys preview Carson Wentz's return to the field. NFL Game Day morning, Sunday at 9, live on NFL Network.
Looking forward to watching that. We get Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks against the Cowboys on Sunday, and you know, talk about a team that's kind of got their back against the wall after a very disappointing Monday night game against the Bears. We'll see if they're able to regroup. They get a few guys healthy this next week.
Powell left side. Back to the line of scrimmage. That is it. Jamie Collins was out there to make the stop, no gain. The running game was non-existent for Sam Darnold against the Dolphins after really showing up well against the Lions week 1.
Yeah, and that was a disappointment. Now, they were facing a heck of a defensive front in the Miami Dolphins, but you got a young quarterback. You're trying to protect the guy, and Jeremy Bates said, hey, we've got to be able to run the football and take some of the pressure off Sam Darnold, and Greg Williams knows that as well. It's been tough sledding so far, which is usually the case, though, when you're trying to run the ball against a good front.
3rd down and 10, and Darnold is sacked. Garrett. Greg Williams said, as Darnold kind of limps off, and no Jet fan wants to see that, but this guy's got such speed coming off the edge.
Well, they run the twist, and he starts on the outside, he loops around, so then he's taking the center guard gap is where he hits it. And when you look at the Jets through the first 2 weeks, it is an offensive line that has struggled with those types of defensive games. Not surprised that Greg Williams dials it up on 3rd down, and he gets home with Myles Garrett.
Edwards hits a booming punt, sending Peppers back inside the 15. And a flag. And a tackle out near the 17, 18-yard line. A 61-yard punt. It's the long of the year so far for Edwards, the short season, 2+ games. We'll get to hear from Jerome Boger for the first time tonight.
A chance to see Sam Darnold down there on the sidelines, and to a man, when you ask people about him.
During the kick, holding, receiving team, number 36. Half the distance to the goal, first down, timeout.
Well, here is Darnold when he was sacked by Garrett, going down awkwardly. Back after this.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Verizon. The best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network. And delivered by Pizza Hut, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Welcome back to Cleveland. No score. 4.5 left first quarter. The punt, a 61-yarder by Edwards, up to flip field position. Browns' last drive started Jets 39. They went nowhere. Here's a handoff to Hyde, running right. Nice cutback. And Carlos Hyde out to the 29. Middleton on the stop. And a carry of 21.
Well, Orson Charles, number 82, is going to come here, and then he works across. Look at the block that he sets up. Carlos Hyde works off of that, and he's got a crease. That's a great job of getting the ball off your goal line with a big gain.
They stick with Hyde and a nice carry on first down as Screen makes the stop, a gain of 5.
Well, it's been tough sledding through 2 games for Carlos Hyde, and I've said it throughout his career. I really like the way this young man runs. I think he's tough. I liked him when he was in San Francisco, and they just have not been able to get him going a little bit, but last couple runs have been nice. They drafted a kid from Georgia in the 2nd round, Nick Chubb. I'd expect to start seeing a little bit more of him as well.
Again, a carry by Hyde, and he's going to be knocked down a couple short of a first down. Here's some sound from the Jets sideline.
When you get a shot at him, it's upfield shoulder. Everybody's got to push him back into our help. We've missed him 3 times already.
Well, we were talking about that. There's the sack, but what Robert Nunn, the defensive line coach, is saying is, hey, stay upfield, force him back into your help. We've seen Tyrod Taylor escape the pocket when they've been there to make a play. A lot of pressure from this Jets defense, bringing a lot of people. They look like they're showing it here on 3rd and short.
And a quick pull down and run and dragged to the ground by Darren Lee is Tyrod Taylor. A loss of 6, and I'm going to say it now. With 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter, I think the clock is ticking on Tyrod Taylor, not in the season. I think tonight.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. On that play, however, Joe, Tyrod Taylor didn't have much of a chance. David Njoku, the tight end.
Here's a punt blocked. It is touched by the Jets and out of bounds inside the 30 as Kevin Pierre-Louis got through to block the punt, and the special teams under the direction of Brant Boyer makes a play, and the Jets are set up in this scoreless first.
Well, Nick Chubb, he's the one who was responsible for making the block, and it just was not a real good effort on his part. That was too easy, and there, Lewis, you see the job or lack of from Nick Chubb. Now, he works on these things, I'm sure, but I can assure you that that's not something he did much of at Georgia.
Tip it.
Big play by Kevin Pierre-Louis, longtime, very good special teams player in the NFL. And from the 28, this throw is wide for Jermaine Kearse. 2nd down and 10. So the Browns have had one opportunity deep inside Jets territory, and now with a block punt, this drive starts at the 28.
We'll see if Cleveland defensively is able to maybe create another takeaway, or at the most just give up a field goal opportunity. But 53. It's been a game of field position. The Browns were unable to do anything with it earlier. We'll see if the Jets are here.
Handoff to Crowell, and he is going to lose yardage. A loss of 1. These 2 quarterbacks tonight have combined, Darnold and Taylor, to go 3 for 13 for 8 yards. That's it.
It's been yeah, it's been a defensive battle, to say the least. And you know, both these defenses are improved from where they were, and I also think that there's a feeling out process going on right now offensively, and some of that is because of what they're facing with the pressures, and some of that, quite simply, is just understanding what's at stake here for both these teams.
See the play clock at 2, and the Jets sideline calls a timeout. So over to talk about a 3rd and 11 is Darnold, in time for a brief message from the U.S. Army. Head coach Todd Bowles wondering if that block punt will lead to a touchdown, a field goal try, whatever. 3rd and 11.
Better block that guy, Myles Garrett.
Blitz. Quick throw. Pass caught by Enunwa. Big play. 1st down and more inside the 15-yard line. Peppers on the stop, but a crisp throw from Darnold for 16 yards.
Yeah, it's great execution. Spencer Long, the center, he gets out, he makes a nice block, and get the ball out quickly. to Enunwa and let him go do his thing. This guy's 235 pounds. He's been extremely active, missed all of last year. Been the most targeted guy by far through the first 2 games, but when he has the ball in his hands, he's like a running back. He looks for contact. That's a great job after the catch of going and getting the first down.
Here's a toss to Crowell. The former Brown spins off a couple of hits and takes it to the 6 with half a minute left in the opening quarter. Last week, Sam Darnold became the youngest in the history of the league to throw for over 300 yards. He's just 21 years old, and to me, he's got what you need to be a star athlete in New York. He's got the ability. He's also a grounded kid. He's respectful. He gets the big picture. Reminds me of Aaron Judge, the Yankees outfielder. He can play, but he can handle the spotlight. The block punt by Kevin Pierre-Louis, setting up opportunity for the Jets. Into the second we go. Welcome back to Thursday Night Football, presented by Bud Light. It is a new quarter. Second quarter, 2nd down and 4. From the 7.
Yeah, we'll see what the Jets are able to do. It's been a struggle down here in the red zone through the first 2 weeks. They were just 1 for 4 inside the 20 in the opener against Detroit. Last week 0 for 2, and I tell you, you kick field goals, you typically lose games.
Handoff to Crowell, and he will walk in for the touchdown. Isaiah Crowell, who spent 4 years as a Cleveland Brown, takes that blocked punt by Kevin Pierre-Louis, cashes in. A big completion by Darnold on that drive on 3rd and long.
You see the outside receivers there, Jermaine Kearse and Robbie Anderson, and they crash down, and they're able to seal the edge, and there's just nobody there. Last week against the Saints, the Browns really struggled against some of those outside runs, particularly down around the goal line late in that game, and they've been exposed a little bit here in this one as well.
Extra point sneaks in off the right foot of Jason Myers. It's a 7-0 Jets lead. And time for a message from Pizza Hut and Sleep Number. Well, it took a little while to get started, but the Jets take that block punt by that man, Kevin Pierre-Louis, turn it into 7. And that completion to Enunwa for 16 yards on 3rd and 11 is what got him in. There's the block by Pierre-Louis. And the Jets trying to go to 2-1 with a win here tonight, lead by 7. Did you know the first Monday Night Football game involved these 2 franchises?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to ABC's Monday Night Primetime National Football League television series.
First down, New York at their own 18-yard line. 47 seconds to play. It is intercepted by number 52, Billy Andrews. Touchdown, and no penalty flags on the field.
How great is that?
It's great. Browns won it by a final of 31-21. Here's one aired out for Callaway. And underthrown. He was clear of Tremaine Johnson. Good to see him back by 5, maybe 10 yards.
Yeah, and it just floated on Tyrod Taylor. Antonio Callaway is a 4'4" legit guy, and he can fly. I mean, Tremaine Johnson, there is no way he's going to be able to make up the ground. The ball floated on him, and it allowed Johnson to get back underneath. And I think Tyrod Taylor thought that he could have come back and maybe make a play on the ball, and maybe he could try to go up and high point it a little bit. But if that ball was out there, that's a touchdown.
Taylor has started 1 for 8 for 2 yards, and I don't care what he says, that was an underthrow.
That was an underthrow, and there's no doubt. And throwing with that kind of speed sometimes is hard. You're going to take a look at last week, and this was a dime by Tyrod Taylor on 4th and 5 to Antonio Callaway. When this ball was thrown, I didn't think there was any way he was going to be able to go and make the play on the ball, and yet he was able to. And 21 miles per hour is what his top speed when he was running that post route. And I was watching it at home, 4th and 5, and thinking, oh no, and then, oh yes, what a play.
3rd down and 6, blitz off the edge, and Taylor goes down. The first there was Buster Skrine. And this crowd is even more frustrated. Henry Anderson joined in, a loss of 9 on the sack.
Well, Todd Bowles and Casey Rogers, they're dialing some things up, and they're doing it with a lot of different people. We've seen Jamal Adams. He's come off the edge. This time Buster Skrine. And Skrine is more thrilled about having Trumaine Johnson here on this team than anybody. It's allowed him to get back inside where he's more natural.
Here's Andre Roberts, who had a big punt return for a touchdown week 1 at Detroit. Tyrod Taylor missed a shot deep, goes down on the sack on 3rd down. He is frustrated. So are the fans, down 7. Welcome back to Thursday Night Football, presented by Bud Light. Tyrod Taylor and Antonio Callaway will be going to sleep tonight if the Browns don't win this game, thinking about that missed chance, with Callaway getting behind Trumaine Johnson on that last possession. We'll look at it again.
Hey, kill.
Darnold from the 37 keeps, rolls to his right, throws, and nearly picked by the middle linebacker Joe Schobert. Let's go back to that missed opportunity.
And watch Tyrod Taylor in the pocket, a little lackadaisical on his drop. And when that happens, and then you double clutch it, he's going to hitch, and then he lays it, it hangs on him. When you got a guy with the kind of speed that Antonio Callaway has, you can't lollygag around back there in the pocket. And I know for me, when I was playing, throwing to Rocket Ismail with that kind of speed, I mean, you better get back there and let it go. And, you know, these guys are working together. Josh Gordon's not here. They traded Corey Coleman, and there's a lot going on. But I assure you, Tyrod Taylor knows that Callaway is a burner.
Here's Powell with a cutback. Good run. 1st down, Jets at midfield. You know, went around Chris Smith and got 14.
The thing is, to finish up on that, is as an offensive coordinator and Todd Haley, you can spend an entire game waiting to get the look you want when you call a shot. You know, everybody says sometimes, how come they're not taking any shots? Well, sometimes they're called. They're just simply not there due to coverage. 53. And then when you get it, in this league, when you get those looks, you just simply have to cash in.
Powell again left side, and there's some room out there. He gets 8.5. Brought down by Schobert, a Pro Bowler from a year ago. And the Jets able to move the ball just a little bit. Darnold came very close to an interception by Schobert earlier in this drive. Darnold so far has 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, coming off a 2-pick day against the Dolphins.
I'm a little surprised that Joe Schobert didn't haul that one in. He's one of the best athletes on the field right now. A guy who started out last year as a 3rd-string linebacker, went on to be one of the leaders in tackles in all of the NFL and made his first Pro Bowl, but he's a heck of an athlete.
This play shut down. A timeout taken by the Jets.
Snap. Timeout, New York. They're second.
And we saw video of Schobert during the preseason going between the legs on a dunk with a basketball, and he came through and had a clear shot at that pick.
I was watching some of his basketball exploits this week. I saw him do a 360 and slam it. You know, the guy's only 6'1", but he's a freak of an athlete. I know that Greg Williams, you know, really likes this guy, and like I said, he kind of emerged out of nowhere last year. And in fact, he's such a great athlete. I talked about how they played very little nickel when they bring in a 5th defensive back. One was they didn't feel great about their nickel linebacker, and the other reason was because of Joe Schobert. He's such a great athlete. They used him as the nickel back, much like Carolina does with Shaq Thompson. So that's a real compliment to what he can do.
2nd down and 2. They run it again with Powell left side, cuts back, has a 1st down inside the 35. Ogunjobi, who is really making a name for himself, the defensive tackle after a gain of 8 made the stop.
Well, you talk about the offensive line and some of the changes that they've made. They brought in Spencer Long. They got a healthy Brian Winters. They feel better about the group, but I think the reason they feel really good about it, they got a new offensive line coach, Rick Dennison, right there, and he learned under Alex Gibbs in this zone blocking scheme. He's one of the best teachers that has ever coached in the NFL. He truly is one of the greats, and he's an outstanding line coach and probably the best in football.
Toss to Crowell. They just keep running left. Over on that side, it's Kelvin Beachum, the left tackle. It's James Carpenter, the left guard. And they're running behind Beachum. Gain of 8 there.
What they wanted to do, as you said, Joe, they were unable to get it going last week against the Dolphins, and they know they can't just sit back there with Darnold against this high-pressure defense, get the running game going, and they use these backs. They platoon them both. They both split carries pretty much. They use all of them in all situations. Isaac Crowell, who comes over, he was the leading rusher for the Browns the last 3 seasons.
Crowell back there here on 2nd and 2. Gets it. Left side again. And a loss on the play of 2. Ogunjobi got through to make the stop, so 3rd and 4. Jets are inside field goal range for Jason Myers, who has a big leg.
You know, they've been running to that left side, and you know, Myles Garrett is a heck of a player. But sometimes you run at those pass rushers and you try to wear them down a little bit in the running game. And they've been going to his side and with success on the ground.
3rd down and 4. Quick throw, pass caught. That's Enunwa. Down to the 11. And when Darnold has had his success, the balls come out of his right hand fast. That was a catch and run of 16 by Quincy Enunwa.
We saw it on the first 3rd down that they converted there in the first quarter. They come out, they get the ball out quick. They've got Jermaine Kearse, who's making a key block right there. Essentially takes on 2 guys. He jams them right up in to the defender who's covering Enunwa, and then you've got Brian Winters and Spencer Long. I think it's a well-designed play by Jeremy Bates.
Darnold got rid of it so fast he didn't even get the laces. Just let it fly. Good for 16. Toss to Crowell. Inside the 10 to the 5, and he is running hard. A gain of 6. Terrence Mitchell on the stop, and the Jets now are taking control of this first half.
Yeah, Isaac Crowell, as I said, he's spent the previous years with the Cleveland Browns, and you can imagine what this game means to him coming back here to Cleveland. He's running like it. And in the meantime, we talked about this crowd wanting to have a party. Well, they're not too thrilled right now. It's gotten awfully quiet around here.
From the 5. Here's Crowell again. And he's going to be knocked down a little short of 1st down yardage. So 3rd and less than a yard for Todd Bowles' Jets. Bowles in his 4th year. He's gone 10 and 6 and then back-to-back 5 and 11 seasons. No playoffs yet. It's 3rd down and less than a yard. And an extra offensive lineman, Jonathan Harrison, into the game.
I would have to believe that if they don't make it here, this is 4-down territory for the Jets.
45 yards rushing on the drive. Here's a cutback for the touchdown for Crowell. Isaiah Crowell. He's got a couple. And that'll draw a flag every time.
Was that Jonathan Harrison that they put in there at fullback? I think that's who it was, 78. They don't have a blocking fullback. So they use tight ends, and then when they get down here real close, just bring in an extra lineman. Here he is right here. And he just powers his way, and it's a pretty good feeling as a back. You get in behind that and just force your way through. Joe Schobert unable to keep him from getting in.
Offense, number 20. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
So you talked about Crowell and coming back here to Cleveland. He gets a visit from Stump Mitchell, his running backs coach. And with that act, after the touchdown, the flag for the 15-yard penalty for clearly unsportsmanlike conduct. This to make it a 14-0 game. They sputtered at the start, but the Jets have settled in. Here's that near pick by Schobert. Jets took that opportunity into the end zone and lead by 14.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by the Crown Royal Water Break. Moderate your drinking to stay in the game.
The Jets have taken control of this game. It was a block punt by Kevin Pierre-Louis that set up the first score. Isaiah Crowell has both touchdowns for the Jets. They lead 14-0, and then Crowell with a dumb penalty at the end of the touchdown run that means the kickoff from Jason Myers comes from the 20. Callaway is waiting deep along with Carey, and Carey will take it back. Jabril Peppers is in that blue tent, and TJ Carey ran into a wall named Neville Hewitt, and just a 21-yard return out to the 26. And before the game, these two have a nice relationship, getting to know each other through the draft process. I thought it was interesting, Troy, when you talked to Sam Darnold, he didn't know the night of the draft whether his name was going to be called by the Browns, and as we all know, it was Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, and Baker Mayfield didn't know. I mean, they didn't know until right when the pick was put in. Tell you what, I think Tyrod Taylor has got about one more drive before these fans are going to start clamoring for Baker Mayfield.
Backing up and somehow able to find Hyde, but there's nothing there. Henry Anderson out there to make the stop, and a good play, and now Tyrod Taylor's grabbing his back. Mayfield's got his helmet on. Look, these Browns, Troy, and the fans in this stadium came into this game with something they haven't had in a while, and that's expectations. I mean, they're a 3-point favorite. This is a game they thought they would win. It's still really early, and there is opportunity here. We'll see how much longer they stay with Taylor. He's got to get hot, though, and that's not going to do it.
Well, you can hear the fans right now, and you knew it was just a matter of time, and they want to see Baker Mayfield. They know what he did in college. They know why he was drafted, and it has been a struggle. And like you said, Joe, the first 2 weeks, okay, we understand. They were still optimistic. They're still fired up about the season. A lot of young players, some optimism, a lot of things to like. But if this Browns team does not win tonight, I'm telling you, they're going to lose a lot of people as far as their confidence in what this season can become.
Some of the crowd start a Baker chant. On third down, the pass is out of the reach of Landry. And we will keep our eyes on that sideline as Taylor comes back. A flag is down late on the sideline, and Taylor may get a reprieve. We'll see.
Well, we'll see. He's 2 of 11 for just 2 yards, and those last 2 passes, he had open guys and just flat out missed the throws.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 22, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, that's Tremaine Johnson, so that's 2 unsportsmanlike conduct calls against the Jets, and this gives, and here's the reason, that threw the flag as he hands the ball to Jarvis Landry, but this gives Taylor a chance to at least go back out there for the moment.
And they've not been able to get Jarvis Landry going yet in this ball game.
Here's Nick Chubb, the rookie, the Georgia Bulldog, and there's nothing there. And whether it's Tyrod Taylor or Baker Mayfield, the offensive line for the Cleveland Browns is getting overwhelmed right now. There's no room to run, and there's no time back there for Taylor to throw the ball.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, there's a lot to discuss along that offensive line. Some of the things they went through in in the training camp trying to put them together. Zeitler missed a lot of time, their right guard. It's not a group that's worked a lot prior to the season.
Taylor is going to pull it down and run. Flag on the play. Taylor gets hit high, and that draws a flag. Could be offsetting fouls here. Jermaine Johnson with that high hit on Tyrod Taylor, and there was an early flag where you think hold or something like that against Cleveland.
Well, we'll see, but the hit
There
by
are 2 fouls on the play, one against each team. Holding, offense, number 64. Personal foul, defense, number 22. These fouls all set. Replay, second down.
So we've got an unsportsmanlike conduct, Jermaine Johnson. We've got a 5-year, $72.5 million deal. There's a hold as Taylor slips past it.
Yeah, and this wasn't very smart by Jermaine Johnson. He's going down, and that's his second penalty now. And there's Kevin Green, and one of the greats, and got inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Just an awesome guy and a hell of a player back in his day. But those penalties, Jermaine Johnson, now he's had a couple of them.
So second down and 10. Hyde in the backfield as this officiating crew seems a little confused. First 5 possessions.
I'm not sure why they're so confused, but I wonder what they're talking about. They don't seem like they even. I don't know if they're. I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine that they're talking about a possible ejection. I don't think that would come into play, would it, Mike?
I just think really they got a little confused about where to put the ball after the offsetting penalties. It started, the down started 2nd and 10 at the 41. And I think the replay buzzed down to check it, but they wanted to make sure that they got it spotted right. That was the confusion. It is right.
Second down and 10.
Hurry, hurry.
Handoff is to Hyde, and what a job by this Jets defense. Darren Lee got through. The 3rd-year linebacker from Ohio State. Adams was back there as well, and Todd Haley's offense can't get anything going.
Here he is. You're going to see what Darren Lee's able to do, because if Hyde had been able to get away from him, there really was nobody else out there, and he just kind of lost his balance. But Lee was there to make a play. This Jets defense in this first half, they've just played at a faster speed than Cleveland has.
Browns are under 2 yards per play. With 5.5 to go in the half. Taylor to the sideline, and what a catch and a reach for a first down. That was sensational by Jarvis Landry. Great catch, and then going out of bounds, reached for the first down.
You look on the outside, they turn Antonio Callaway loose. He has a shot. They just busted the coverage. Jermaine Johnson just lets him go. And still yet, though, that's a great job. These are the types of things Jarvis Landry, does regularly. Just knowing where he was and knowing what he needed to do, and Baker Mayfield liked everyone else.
12 yards to Landry, 6th target, first catch. Good protection this time, and Taylor drops it off to Hyde out of the backfield. Eyes downfield, finally dropped it off, and Darren Lee on the stop after a gain of 5 as the Browns are inside Jets territory.
I think Todd Haley saw what we saw when they turned Callaway loose. They come back with a similar scheme and getting Landry down the middle, Callaway up the right sideline. Fortunately, Tyrod Taylor has lots of time in the pocket. Jets covered it up very well, and so he does the right thing and checks it down.
2nd and 5. Hand off to Hyde. He's got a first down as the Browns start to get momentum. to the 33. Middleton on the stop tomorrow on NFL Network. Check out what critics have called the best morning show on sports television and legit entertaining. It is. It's a great show. Good Morning Football tomorrow at 7. Only on NFL Network.
You know, I watch that show every morning, and I thoroughly enjoy it. They do a great job, but there used to be Schrager bombs, and I don't know what happened to those. The little inside nuggets from Peter Schrager, one of the regulars, and I don't know. He's gone big time on us, and I think he's just left what kind of got him there, and those were the Schrager bombs.
First down. Handoff is to Duke Johnson, and the crowd is happy to see that.
Yeah.
They want to see this guy get more involved. He's been great catching the ball out of the backfield, and now they hand it to him for 8 yards.
Yeah, he's a special player. He led the team in receiving last year. You know, as a running back, he says he'd rather catch the ball than actually run with the football. They like splitting him out, doing a lot of different things, but he's a versatile guy, to say the least, and they're splitting him out now.
And now timeout taken here by Cleveland. So we'll take a break too. 2nd down and 2. A little life for the Browns, trailing by 14. 3:07 left in the half. Welcome back to Thursday Night Football, presented by Bud Light. 2nd down and 2 for the Browns, down 14. Little play action. Taylor. No one there. And if I told you who that was for, I would be guessing. Orson Charles, the tight end. We've got one camera, Troy, I think, just locked in on Baker Mayfield over on the sideline. And now a flag for grounding.
Offense, number 5.
The receiver ran the wrong route, Joe, and he was within the pocket.
Loss of down.
Just because the receiver runs the wrong route, it doesn't mean that you can't get called for pass interference. It's right here. This was right there, Jarvis Landry, and it seemed to me like he was the one who Tyrod Taylor thought was going to go to the corner.
Yep. Landry.
I think that's a good call.
So does Mike Pereira, giving the thumbs up. To your right, Landry and Orson Charles, the big tight end.
Because you say he wasn't under pressure. Oh, I think he's under pressure. He's got a guy right there.
3rd down and 12. This is a restless crowd. Remember, they have a new kicker in Greg Joseph, by the way, if this drive stalls right here. And now Taylor is going to go down. A flag on the play, but Avery Williamson gets through again. And it's a hold against Cleveland that'll be declined.
Holding. Offense, number 74. This penalty is declined.
Avery Williamson, he comes in, he gets his 2nd sack of the day, and I think that, you know, protection was not great, but I think that's one. There was a place there for Tyrod to make a throw. He had a guy work in the middle of the field, and if you anticipate it, you have time to cut that loose. And you know, they had a nice drive going. Disappointing, they back up, and now they're forced with a punt. And this is an offense that's only scored 6 points in the first half in their first 2 games, and they've got none here to show for it tonight.
That sack knocked the Browns out of field goal range, and Baker chant picks up a little more steam. Let's talk about Cleveland sports championship teams. For more, here's Christina.
Yeah, this is a crowd in a city that is starved for championships. Just 4 championships for the Browns way back in the 60s was the last one. The Cleveland Indians, 1920 and 1948, but the most recent back in 2016 with the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is a crowd that is getting raucous and rowdy. They're ready to see some success here, Joe.
Well, they might be able to celebrate a world championship in baseball. Their Indians team is fantastic, running away with the division.
Single 53.
So it could be a fun October here in Cleveland, but right now it's not a very fun September. It's been not a very fun couple of years as Bilal Powell loses 3 on the play, and a good piece of work by the Browns defense.
You know, Joe, we hear this crowd and they're chanting for Baker Mayfield, and a lot of discussion as to how you bring this young guy along. Patrick Mahomes, we've seen what he's done this year after sitting down for a season. And then, of course, Aaron Rodgers. Those are the quarterbacks that people point to and how successful they've been not playing right away. Well, Patrick Mahomes, he had Alex Smith in front of him playing, and then Aaron Rodgers had Brett Favre in front of him playing. That's not going to happen. And so an entirely different situation here in Cleveland based on their history, what they've not been able to do, the struggles they've had. And Baker Mayfield, you know, he doesn't have a future Hall of Famer in front of him like Aaron Rodgers had.
2-minute warning here in Cleveland. 2nd and 13 for the Jets when we come back as they lead by 14. Stay tuned for the Lexus halftime report. We'll figure out who's on the other end of that phone call with Baker Mayfield.
Well, they came and got him and said that they were summoning him to get to the phone. So that's an interesting situation there as to what might have been said.
That first question on the upcoming Lexus halftime might be answered. Here's a flag on the play as Crowell over the right side loses 1. And it's a hold against the Jets. We get the call from Boger.
Holding. Offense. Number 61. His penalty is declined. Result of the play.
Well, there's news about Tyrod Taylor, Christina.
Well, Tyrod Taylor right now is currently in the blue medical tent. Watch the play here. On this play, went down and slammed his head on the ground. He is inside the tent with the independent neurotrauma consultant, which does indicate that he is being evaluated for a concussion. They watched the hit on the replay monitors, and they're back in the tent talking to him. Joe?
And that's why Baker was on the phone. That's why he just kind of sprung to life over there. Here's a big 3rd and 14.
And I think Jeremy Bates maybe ought to call a run.
A toss to Crowell, left side out to the 5. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's a smart call, though, by Jeremy Bates. You're backed up. A lot of bad things can happen. It's 3rd and 14, and the likelihood of being able to throw that for a first down, not very good. You force then the Cleveland Browns to burn one of their 2 remaining timeouts. So I think that was the right decision offensively. But they do give the Browns an opportunity now here before the half, and it appears that that's going to be Baker Mayfield's debut.
Well, now we know it will be Baker Mayfield's debut as Taylor's being led off the field. The Browns used a timeout. They have 1 timeout left. They're about to get it back, and we are about to see the pro debut, at least in the regular season, of Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how they're going to play it now. They should get great field position and, you know, let Baker, I'm sure they're not going to have him handcuffed. Let him do his thing. There's plenty of time. But this should be fun.
Flag is down with Landry back to field the punt inside the 45. And the crowd reacts to the emergence of Baker Mayfield off the bench.
Well, when we saw this schedule, Joe, we thought, hey, week 3 Thursday night, this could be Baker Mayfield versus Sam Darnold. And
during the kick, holding, receiving team, number 38. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First time.
They get the holding penalty, so now they're going to back him up a little bit more, but still outstanding field position. And we get a chance to see what Baker Mayfield's going to do. And I can tell you, I talked to him down on the field before the game. I said, "Are you ready to go tonight?" He said, "I am ready to go if called upon." And this is going to be a fun drive right here and a fun second half.
They knew they had their man, the Browns, when they saw the ball come out of his hand throwing it, and the way his teammates and the staff reacted to him on his pro day at OU. Heisman Trophy winner, former walk-on, finds Landry. "14 yards and a first down with 1.5 minutes to go and 1 timeout."
Here he goes. He's great at the line of scrimmage. He knows this offense. This is when he's at his best, at playing up tempo.
Mayfield fires, pass is caught at the 35 by Njoku. Good catch by the big tight end.
Great catch by a guy who's had some problems catching the football, but he went down and made a play for his quarterback.
17 yards to Njoku. Looks right, back to his left. Ball is out picked up by the offensive lineman and returned by Bitonio for 9. And everything is working for the Browns right now.
I think this is going to come back inside of 2 minutes. A fumble cannot be advanced.
Good call. It'll stay with Cleveland.
We have the fourth down fumble rule. After a 2-minute warning, when the ball is fumbled by a player, on that player can advance the football. The ball is being returned to the 43-yard line. Second down, Cleveland.
Jordan Jenkins knocked it out. Bitonio made the pickup and run, but because it's inside 2 minutes, he doesn't get to advance it. And here are the 2 completions by Baker Mayfield.
Well, that first throw of his career, he dropped back, put his foot in the ground, and he turned it loose. I mean, he knew exactly where he was going, was decisive, read the coverage, comes back, would like to have had a better throw to Njoku, but still a nice pickup. The fumble, you know, he will learn that, because the difference in college and pro, one of the big things I learned, he's used to being able to escape the pocket and outrun defensive linemen at Oklahoma. That's hard to do. He's a 4'8" guy. He's not going to outrun these defensive linemen. I learned that when Reggie White tracked me down from behind. So he's got to be smart, and he'll figure that out.
So this is a loss of 8 because of that play made by Jordan Jenkins instead of a gain of 9 because it's inside 2 minutes. And now it's second down and 18. No timeouts left for Cleveland. They just took their final timeout with 46 seconds left. Well, they need another chunky yardage just to get into field goal.
Well, they need to get Greg Joseph's longest field goal is 54 yards. So they need to get to the 36-yard line, you know, which is, you know, what, 8 yards or whatever it is. And so Baker Mayfield needs to know that. You know, yeah, you'd like to keep the drive going, 49 seconds, pick up a first down, get into the end zone, but, you know, be smart about it. Any points here is a real positive thing going in at halftime.
The Jets get the ball to start the second half. They just picked up their 4th sack. They come on a blitz. Pass is caught. Landry stays up, but he's short of a first down. They can't spike it. It's 3rd down. It would bring up 4th, and Mayfield's going to run a play. To the sideline and broken up. Callaway, contact, no flag with Claiborne out on the edge. Good play, and now we'll see what the Browns want to do, and they are going to bring on their field goal unit.
He needs to drive this ball down low. If he pulls him back towards the sidelines, it was a kind of a, I didn't like the route. He's jogging through the route. With his speed, he should have separation every time he runs a comeback. But they're going to give Greg Joseph an opportunity, and I wonder what he's feeling right now.
Most popular man in Cleveland. If he can hit for cutting Zane Gonzalez. They were cheering him in the pregame warm-ups. This from 45. He pushes it through. And the Browns are on the board with 23 seconds left.
It was kind of that Tiger Woods stinger fade. I mean, that thing was outside the left upright with some heat on it. But like Hugh Jackson told us when we were talking to him about Greg Joseph, he said, I just want a guy who can put it through the uprights.
Well, we said, what do you know about him? He said, I don't know. We know that he grew up in Johannesburg. His family moved to Florida. He was a terrific kicker at Florida Atlantic. He was cut by the Dolphins in their final cuts. And he won a kicking competition on Monday with Blair Walsh and Cairo Santos to get the job, and he's 1 for 1.
Yeah, and he, you know, he was in Miami Dolphins training camp. He got cut, and so it's not like he's kind of coming out of nowhere. He's been kicking the ball, and, you know, just a few weeks removed from that cut. But making that field goal, his first, you know, that's something to build on. He'll be more confident the next time he has to go take the field and do it again.
Well, here's a mistake. That's out of bounds.
Yeah. Maybe he doesn't have confidence now, because that's not very good.
He was all fired up and drove it out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Kicking team. By rule, the ball be placed 25 yards from the free kick line. First down.
So 23 seconds left. Good field position and a timeout. Here's the field goal, 45 yards. It was not pretty, but it worked.
I thought he yanked to the left when it came off his foot, but it found the way. But yeah, now you're setting up the Jets with one timeout, and you know there's plenty of time now for them to come down and match it and get some points of their own.
That's a 40.
Big mistake.
Come on.
Darnold steps into it and throws it out of bounds. In case you're wondering, Myers long 55 yards a week ago. That means getting it to the 37. He hit from 58 during the preseason. So you got to get this ball inside the other 40. They're 20 yards away from that 20 plus. Sam Darnold for the game is 4 for 10. 38 yards. Baker Mayfield on that one drive threw for more yardage, 3 for 4 for 47. Quick throw, pass is caught out on the edge, and that's Herndon, the tight end. 14 seconds and a timeout. There's time left.
Yeah, there is timeout. Greg Williams, he's not coming after him. He will. Greg Williams will if he starts to get the ball into field goal range, and he'll then come after him and try to create a negative play. Right now, playing conservative, playing coverage, force the ball out quickly, and hopefully they like to rally and keep them in bounds and force them to use this last timeout.
3rd down and 3, and that was a miscommunication and nearly picked. Terrence Mitchell in coverage with Pryor the target, and Mitchell was in better position than Pryor.
Terrence Mitchell, I think he's been a real upgrade for them at that corner position at 4th and 3 now.
Punt team comes on, and this half is going to, barring the unforeseen, with Landry back, will end 14-3.
Yeah, a little surprised. I mean, Sam Darnold does not have the strongest arm. I've said it before. He has plenty of arm, but he doesn't have this just cannon of an arm, and that's probably why they're not taking a shot on a Hail Mary.
Here's a drive out of bounds, and we'll have a snap, and that should be it. But I'll tell you, there is life here in the stadium. There is life on that sideline because number 6 is in the game. You just got the sense for that one drive, everybody just kind of picked it up for the Browns on offense.
Yeah, you felt it, and they were feeding off this crowd too, because the crowd had a little more enthusiasm themselves. I would think they'll just take a knee here, but they'll go in, they'll discuss what the game plan's going to be. Todd Haley will, and they'll come out and let it rip, and it should be a fun 30 minutes of ball.
The Jets will start the second half with the football. They'll be leading by 11. Stay tuned for the Lexus halftime report.
Tell you about it. Say the truth will set you free. Hello, hello, let me tell you what it's like to be a 0-0. Let me show you what it's like to always feel. Like I'm empty and there's nothing really real. I'm looking for a way out.
And welcome back to you. Thursday Night Football presented by Bud Light. 14-3 game at the half. Third quarter about to start. Jets will start the second half with the football. Welcome you inside the booth. I'm Joe Buck along with the Hall of Famer Troy Aikman. So obviously a lot of drama left in this game with Baker Mayfield now taking over for Cleveland. On the other side, the Jets have been able to run the ball. They have not really been able to throw it with much success at all.
Well, I think both defenses have really done a pretty good job. The Jets essentially have put together one drive for a touchdown. The other one was because of the blocked field goal. I think this drive for Cleveland is going to be big defensively because they're facing a Jets offense that has outscored their opponent 37-7 in the third quarter, and they've scored touchdowns on their opening possession to start the third quarter. So they've had success in the first two games coming out at halftime. Cleveland, if they're able to make a stop, get the ball back to Baker Mayfield, and then see what happens. But I'm optimistic. I just feel that Baker Mayfield is going to be able to do some things. I like his moxie, and I expect Cleveland to get back in this game.
Speaking of the Cleveland Browns, let's check in with Christina Pink.
Thank you, Joe. Well, it is Baker Mayfield the rest of the way after talking to Hugh Jackson at the half. Tyrod Taylor has officially been ruled out after being evaluated for a concussion. But when I asked him about the performance of his rookie quarterback on that drive, he went 3 for 4 for 47 yards. He stopped me and said, "Did you feel the energy?" He said, "Balls completed, balls thrown into windows." He said, "We have to see that in the second half." He said he never doubted the composure of Mayfield taking the field, Joe.
All right, thank you, Christina. Starting from the 25 are the Jets, leading by 11. Darnold 5 for 12, has to avoid the rush and a sack, and is able to complete it to the sideline to Isaiah Crowell. And on first down, a gain of 7. Erin Andrews, what did you learn?
Todd Bowles telling me his team did look at quite a bit of film of Baker Mayfield in preparation for this game, but he said, "I don't care what quarterback is in, my defense's game plan stays the same." He said, "Forget the quarterbacks. I'm going to talk to my team about penalties for this offense, like the way they ran the ball, likes the way they were physical, hopes to continue it here in the second half."
All right, Erin, thank you. Now second down and 3.
Gang. Red 80.
Here is Crowell, and Ogunjobi is in the backfield to make the stop. Chris Smith as well. A loss of 3, 3rd and 6.
This Ogunjobi is having himself a heck of a start to this season. 2 sacks last week against the Saints, had a chance for a 3rd. He gets an interior push. He has really been something, and that was a really good play there, him filling the hole.
3rd down and 6. Blitz coming from the Browns. Darnold steps through it, unloads, has a first down, and a catch by Crowell. By the way, just something to keep in mind as you look at this replay of the 10-yard completion. There are 2 players for the Jets, Crowell being one of them, the other Tremaine Johnson. Each one unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against them, away from being ejected from this game. That's new for 2017. 2 and you're out.
Single 53.
Well, I'm sure that they were reminded of that by their respective coaches.
Powell gets it on a toss running right, and Burgess is there to make the stop, but he got hit on that right leg, and James is in pain.
He sure is. He makes a great play on that. He's been in the middle of a lot of action in the backfield, and you see that he is. Oh man.
Schobert hit his right knee. Ugly injury to James Burgess.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Hyundai, official sponsor of the NFL, and by Courtyard by Marriott, the official hotel of the NFL.
Or somehow, despite that ugly contact with his right leg, James Burgess smiling over on the sideline as he gets looked at in the medical tent. Now second down and 11. Jabril Peppers back in the game for the Browns. Darnold keeps it, throws it to the sideline, and out of bounds. Robbie Anderson. So 3rd down and 11.
We'll see what they're able to do here. He had a chance on the outside. That's one of the throws that has really gotten away from him. I have been impressed with Sam Darnold. We saw a few plays earlier with some pressure, and there's a good look at Jeremy Bates, and some pressure in his face, and yet he is navigating the rush, but yet not staring at the rush, and that's a great sign. A lot of young quarterbacks stare at the rush. You miss a lot of throws. Sam's been able to make some key throws under pressure.
3rd and 11, and this one sails over the head of Jermaine Kearse. And Sam Darnold, no good tonight so far. 7 for 16. And the only wide receiver with a catch is Quincy Enunwa.
Yeah, I think that throw there, the coverage was really good, and even if they had have completed it, it was not going to be enough for a first down. And I think Sam just did not like the relationship between the receiver and the defensive back, and wisely just threw it away.
Lachlan Edwards to punt. Landry from inside the 10, and there'll be a flag for that block. You saw just as Landry made the catch. 54-yard punt, 14 yards on the return. Let's see who it was against. There it is, out on the edge, Denzel Rice.
Come on. I mean, that doesn't get any easier than that.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 37. After distance to the goal, first down.
Well, so now we'll watch Baker Mayfield, and what he can do is he's backed up. How good has Patrick Mahomes been? 10 touchdowns, no interceptions. The 10 touchdowns, a record for the season's first 2 games. Second-year player. And he was drafted by John Dorsey, who is now the general manager here in Cleveland.
I don't know what all happened in Kansas City and why John Dorsey is no longer there, but he did a great job building that team, and Patrick Mahomes was an outstanding pick from what we've seen.
Here's Hyde with a nice carry on first down. You saw that last note. Patrick Mahomes did a sit-down with Peter Schrager. And we'll see that on Sunday. A gain of 8 for Carlos Hyde.
Schrager's everywhere. That's a good first down run. There's a look at John Dorsey and the owner Jim Haslam, and John Dorsey. You know, it's early. We all understand that, but he's done a remarkable job. He had a lot of draft picks to work with, but I think he's done a remarkable job in his first season building this Cleveland team.
2nd down and 2, and a first down carry by Carlos Hyde, who was added over the offseason. 5 players were added to this Browns roster who found their way into the postseason a year ago. 2 Pro Bowlers, Jarvis Landry and the quarterback that started this game, Tyrod Taylor. But it all really resides with number 6. You can't miss on the number 1 overall pick. They have to hope Baker Mayfield is what they thought. And the draft came, and he completes to the tight end, Njoku. A nice quick throw out to the 35, good for 19.
I think it surprised a lot of people, Joe, when the Cleveland Browns took Baker Mayfield. The safe pick was Sam Darnold, and with all the history of quarterbacks they'd missed on, you'd think they would go with the safe pick. I've said it before. Jimmy Johnson said you can take the safe pick and be good, or you can take a chance and be great. And there's no question that John Dorsey making the selection with Baker Mayfield with the idea that that pick is going to give this organization a chance to be great.
There's a little hesitation in the backfield, and Hyde, no gain. Well, the draft history here recently for the Browns is not good. This is hard to believe. 11 players drafted in the first round between 2009 and 2016. 0 remain on the roster. And John Dorsey, whether it was his time in Kansas City, really cut his teeth with the Green Bay Packers in their front office, or here with the Cleveland Browns, he will draft some players that are on the do not draft list of other teams. Worked with Tyreek Hill in Kansas City, and they hope it works with Antonio Callaway here with the Browns as Rashard Higgins makes the catch. Gain of 5.
Well, there's definitely a different energy with this offense with Baker Mayfield at the helm. You know, the ball's coming out quicker. Guys seem to be getting to the line faster than they were. You know, the playbook doesn't change that much, but, you know, Mayfield's a 4'8" guy. He's elusive, but they're not going to do some of the same things that you do with a guy like Tyrod Taylor and his ability to scramble.
3rd down and 5. Little pump fake. Here's Mayfield scrambling. Flag is thrown. Pass is caught for a first down by Duke Johnson. His first catch of the game. Flag in the secondary, and it's against the Jets. The play will stand. Gain of 9.
Well, this is the stuff that Baker Mayfield can do. He's working to his left. Where the penalty came in is what he was looking at.
Number 43. This penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
It's not there. He's able to get out, and this is what was impressive. Like I say, you time him in the 40 and you test him on a lot of things, you're not coming away real impressed. But he's got a Tony Romo-like quality that he's able to just extend plays, make people miss in the pocket, and find guys open down the field.
Handoff to Johnson running left, and he's back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1, and now a fight breaks out in the secondary.
I'm surprised there's no flag there.
You can see Perry Nickerson was involved with Jarvis Landry, and that's what started it. And like you said, there's no flag. Play clock is running on 2nd down and 9.
Well, disappointing losses for both these teams. A short week, which was probably good, that they can just get back out onto the field and try to get that bad taste out of their mouth. But like we've said, week 3, Cleveland looked at this game, said, hey, this is a winnable game for us. The Jets looked at this game, said, this is a winnable game for us. And to further their season in a positive way, a lot of pressure right here tonight.
Mayfield out to his right, looking for somebody to come back, and the pass is off the hands of Orson Charles. We've seen that a couple of times. Mayfield able to avoid the rush, out to his right, threw a bullet, but it was not corralled by Charles.
He's trying to get Orson Charles to come back. This one got away from him a little bit. It's still one that Charles should be able to catch. You're rolling to your right, and as a right-hander, when you throw it with the rotation of the ball then sails out to the right. So you got to lead him a little bit more inside to keep it in play, but still one that very easily could have been caught.
I tell you, that could have been easily called on Frankie Louvu, the linebacker. Low hit on Mayfield at the end of that play. Pass is caught. Callaway, and a nice tackle. Good work by J.J. Wilcox, and with that strong tackle, as the crowd is begging Hugh Jackson to go for it, stop short of the first down, and a punt coming from the Browns.
Yeah, I like this call by Hugh Jackson as much as you'd like to go for it. Doug Peterson would be going for it here, but the Browns aren't the Eagles. But a good job by Baker Mayfield hanging in there. They brought pressure. He got it out, but if he's able to make one guy miss, he was off and running.
Colquitt drives it out of bounds, and we'll see where they mark it. The answer is at the 12. 33-yard punt. Jets leading by 11 with the football. 7.5 left, 3rd quarter. Welcome back to Thursday Night Football, presented by Bud Light. Last time the Browns had it, I talked about that hit by Frankie Louvu out on the edge on Baker Mayfield during the break. Mike Pereira reminding that you lose that low hit protection when out of the pocket. And so rightly no call. Yellow! And this one is an easy call on a false start against the Jets.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Former Seahawk James Carpenter, and we'll see the Seahawks, as Troy alluded to earlier in the game, this weekend at home against the Dallas Cowboys. And Russell Wilson's already been sacked 12 times. He faced Von Miller in Denver, Khalil Mack in Chicago, and now he's got that terrific front for the Dallas Cowboys coming to town.
Yeah, they lead the league in sacks, so it does not get any easier for Russell Wilson and company.
From the 7, handoff to Powell, running left, breaks through some tackles. And he's out to the 14, a gain of 7. Aaron Andrews, pretty special relationship between Sam Darnold and his backup, Josh McCown.
Yeah, it's a real brotherly relationship. Hi, Troy Aikman. 18-year gap between the two of them. Josh telling me today, guy keeps me really young, updates me on Instagram filters, you know, the boomerang. Great story. He said out of the building, this guy's 21. I'm helping him out with dry cleaning. In the building, it's like he's been in the league for 10 years.
McCown, who had a pretty good year last year, was the team MVP, is voted on by the players, making $10 million to be the quarterback coach and the backup quarterback.
Yeah, he had a great year. 13 starts, tied a career high for
Before
him
the snap.
last year.
False start. Offense, number 83. Half the distance to the goal. Still second down.
What I thought was great, Joe, was Teddy Bridgewater was here in camp as well, and they said that Josh McCown, you know, in his 16th year, didn't feel like he really needed the reps, didn't need the work to get ready to play. He said, hey, I'll be ready by week 1. You know, let the young kids, let Sam Darnold, let Teddy Bridgewater, who hadn't played much in recent years, let them get the work, and really an unselfish thing, especially for a guy who had been the starter last year and was willing to concede the position to the first-round pick.
They turned Bridgewater into a third-round pick. The Saints, here's a nice throw and catch. And a first down, but the ball is out. Anderson made the catch, and Denzel Ward, the rookie, takes it inside the 10. Just took it right out of his arms. That kid can play. And another takeaway by this Cleveland defense.
Now, this defense came into the game leading the NFL with 8 takeaways, and they come away with another one right here. They've been awfully good at forcing fumbles. That's their 6th forced fumble on the season, and they've recovered all 6. So they're very opportunistic. They go at it. The ball has bounced in their favor when they have gotten it on the ground. I was wondering if Greg Williams was going to bring pressure with Darnold backed up. He did not, but they're able to take advantage of Robbie Anderson putting the ball on the ground, and we'll see now whether or not Cleveland, they've had a hard time scoring points off of these takeaways by their defense. They need to get a touchdown here.
Anderson injured on that play with a towel up to his face, saw some blood. Denzel Ward was the pick right after Sam Darnold and took it right out of the arms of Anderson. First and goal now with the ball at the 8. They hand it to Hyde. Lost a yard. Avery Williamson, who's had a very good game, got through to make the play.
This Jets defense, they're flying off the ball. You got Jordan Jenkins, he's in the backfield, and a lot of times when you make that first guy miss, then there's nobody there to recover for him. But they had Morris Claiborne was there, and very physical attacking this offensive line and getting into the backfield for much of this game.
That's his 8th tackle, Williamson, in this game.
Got to go along with a couple sacks.
Yeah, they gave him 1.5, 2 tackles for loss. What a game he's had. Mayfield in trouble and throws it away. So now 3rd down and goal.
Just really good coverage downfield. The protection was good, but the Jets secondary just plastered to their guys and didn't give them anywhere to go with the football.
Sometimes when you pick a quarterback first overall, it works out. The Jets know it with Namath back in '65, Bradshaw with the Steelers in '70, you with the Dallas Cowboys in '89, Elway with the Broncos in that great draft of '83. Mayfield is the guy for the Browns, former Heisman Trophy winner, end zone, and nearly picked. Doug Middleton had a shot at it, and it sailed off his shoulder pad and out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield just never saw Doug Middleton, and the reason is there was a crosser that's coming across the field, and I think it just shielded the defender, and he thought he had middle of the field wide open, and Middleton could have snuffed out that drive right there.
1 for 1 is Greg Joseph. First week with the Browns. 27-yard try. Good snap, good hold. Kick is, man, barely good inside the left upright.
Hugh Jackson will take it.
Yeah, so will these fans. A couple of white knucklers from Greg Joseph, but it's an 8-point game in Cleveland. Well, after throwing for 334 yards last week at home against Miami, not so good so far for Sam Darnold. Baker Mayfield took over late in the second quarter, actually has more through the air than Darnold. The first pick taken on the third pick in this past draft, and it's an 8-point game here in Cleveland. Under 5.5 to go, third quarter on Thursday Night Football. Roberts will take it out. Wise decision or no? Wise decision. Flag on the play, and that will likely cost the Jets some yards. EJ Gaines on the stop after a 36-yard return.
During the return, holding, return team, number 89. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, tonight after the postgame show, Von Miller leads the league in sacks, and he'll join NFL Total Access to talk about the Broncos' 2-0 start. NFL Total Access tonight after the postgame, only on NFL Network. Troy, how would you assess your third start? In your NFL career, we know the story as a happy ending.
I wouldn't have known, but you guys were kind enough to remind me with a graphic last night. And like I said, I hope it was the worst game of my career, because if it wasn't, then I can't imagine any worse numbers than these.
Darnold drops it off. The tight end Tomlinson makes the catch. Looked like it got deflected into his arms, and a nice play as Ogunjobi makes the stop after 14 yards. And here were your numbers. Third career start and a quarterback rating of...
Well, the good news is that was also my grade point average in high school. So I'll take a game of 4.0, like one game.
Man.
Surely we got some highlights of something good, don't we? We can sprinkle in.
No, we haven't seen it enough with your one finger up running around in the Super Bowl. Here's Crowell. Am I wrong in saying that your third start, didn't you go up to the line and actually put your hands under the guards?
Crawford Kerr.
Yeah, and rear end instead of the center.
They're in a hurry-up offense, no huddle, and I lost track of where I was on the line. I put my hands under the left guard, which you can only imagine how that maybe spooked him.
Oh my God!
He called everybody daddy. Everybody was daddy this, daddy that, and all he said was he kind of looked back and said, "It ain't me, Daddy." So something felt different. I will tell you that. I should have known.
2nd and 7. That hasn't happened to Darnold. This one is tipped away with Enunwa the target, and a third down coming up again.
I'll tell you an interesting thing about Sam Darnold and visiting with Jeremy Bates, the offensive coordinator. He said when he comes in for the meetings right from the beginning, he doesn't write notes. He does not take notes in the meetings, and I've never heard of that. And Jeremy Bates was getting really frustrated. He's getting angry about it, saying this guy's our #1 pick, and he's not writing notes. But they go out on the practice field. He never forgets anything. It's the way that he's always been. Very smart. His work ethic is incredible. And it's just pretty impressive that the guy can just absorb it by hearing it and doesn't have to take notes to remember it.
Blitz coming. 3rd down and 7. Darnold to his right, broken up. Carey made the previous play, and now Jannard Avery, who Greg Williams says is their second best pass rusher on the defense, and a rookie from Memphis, is in coverage.
Really good player, and they thought initially that they would use him just as a pass rusher and a pass rush specialist here in his rookie season, but he's played a lot more snaps than they thought, and they've used him in dropping him in coverage, and I think he's already a really good player for a young guy. Another one of those young draft picks by John Dorsey that has shown up.
It is Landry from inside the 25 to the 30. But Jets defense right back out on the field. Frustrating night tonight for Darnold, but he and the Jets lead by 8.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by the all-new Lexus ES, a product of Mastery. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
There were 174 touchdowns league-wide through the first 2 games, the most ever through the first 2 weeks in the history of the league. A little different feel to this game. What a catch by Rashard Higgins. And a gain of 9 and a spark when number 6 came in for the injured Tyrod Taylor.
We've seen a few balls get away from Baker Mayfield, which is a little unusual. A lot of people don't know this guy was a 70% completion passer. His last 2 seasons at Oklahoma. Is extremely accurate, has a really strong arm. He can fire it.
Here is a handoff to Hyde. Has to hurdle a tackler, and he's lucky to get about half a yard. He pulled the ball back about a yard after that catch by Higgins on the far sideline. Then Hyde gets half a yard, so 3rd and 2.
Well, 3rd and 2 has not been a good down for them here tonight. 3rd down, but see what they can do.
They hurry it up. Late substitution for the Jets on defense.
Hey, we gotta go 5-4.
Flag on the play. Pass is caught by Landry. He's got a 1st down for the moment inside the 45.
Well, I like what Baker Mayfield wanted to do.
Defense number 21. This penalty is declined, the result of the play. 1st down.
Mayfield has one-on-one out here, and that's where the call came on Morris Claiborne, and so that's a mismatch. You've got a guy who can run 4-4, and then he's up against Morris Claiborne, and he just couldn't get off the press coverage. They get the penalty because he's holding them. But I like that Mayfield sees it. He wants to take a shot on 3rd and short, but still gets off of it for the completion, even though the penalty got it anyway.
Handoff to Hyde with a big hole to run through on the right side. And a 1st down for the Browns as they trail by 8. The Jets defense has been great, not good, great tonight. Holding up after the turnover. Getting a field goal attempt by Cleveland after that 1st and goal. Now a little room for the Browns to operate as Callaway is out of bounds at the 30, forced out by Johnson.
Well, Callaway, as we know, when they trade former 1st rounder Corey Coleman in camp, and then this past week they trade Josh Gordon to the New England Patriots, it becomes Antonio Callaway's show, opposite of Jarvis Landry. And this guy was a 1st round talent. He had some off the field issues that dropped him to the 4th, but he has unique abilities. And if they can get that out of him and kind of harness some of that energy that he has, he could turn into a really good pick in the 4th round.
Here's one. It is caught by Landry to the 1. What a catch.
This is unbelievable. First of all, the throw is the only place it can be. But that is not an easy catch, especially when you've got Doug Middleton who's trying to come over and knock it down. That's a great job. Those are the balls that Jarvis Landry, you almost expect him to make them every time because he does it so frequently.
Sets up 1st and goal from the 1. Hyde trying to take it in, and he does. Touchdown Browns. After the 29-yarder to Jarvis Landry, Hyde has his 3rd of the year. And we'll see what the Browns want to do. Down by 2. Mayfield stays out there.
This was 230 pounds of all Carlos Hyde. There's 3 Jets defenders that hit him before the line, and he just plows his way through. That is a great finish to the run, and yeah, this is the right call here by Hugh Jackson. Sometimes, you get into it and you say, well, wait till the 4th, but right now, winding down the 3rd, I think this is the right time to go.
Callaway at the bottom of the screen. This to tie it. Mayfield. Flags. Ball is out and into the arms of one of the Jets. That's Atachu. And there are 2 flags on the play. Touchdown set up by the longest play of the night by either side. The 29-yarder to Jarvis Landry on a great throw and catch.
There are 2 fouls on the play, one by each team. Holding, defense, number 21. Holding, offense. These fouls all set, redo the try.
So they get another crack at it. There's the hold against Desmond Harrison, and here's Claiborne.
Claiborne's, he got called a couple times, you know, on this possession. He knows the kind of quickness that Callaway has. We'll see what Todd Haley and this offense wants to do here on this second try.
Njoku comes in tight in this formation.
Looks like pressure off the edge.
Little trick play and a throw to Baker Mayfield to tie the game from Jarvis Landry.
Is that Cleveland? I'm really calling that one.
It has tied this game as Mayfield is there for the catch on the left-handed throw by Landry. 14-14. Instant life from Baker Mayfield. Direct snap to Duke Johnson. Flip to Landry, who flipped it to Mayfield in the end zone.
The difference between that one, of course, and Philly was Trey Burton threw that for the Eagles. He's right-handed, so they went the other direction. But here with Jarvis Landry as a left-hander, then you want him going to his left, but opposite direction, same result. A little different circumstances, but we've got ourselves a tie ball game.
Philly playing the Super Bowl right before the half.
Big time.
This one with under a minute to go, third quarter.
Tell you though, this might feel like the Super Bowl for these Browns tonight.
635 days since their last win. And they're seeing the #1 overall pick, Baker Mayfield, help the Browns tie this game.
Well, we said, hey, this crowd was looking to have a party tonight, and it got awfully quiet shortly after anyway, opening kickoff, but they're alive and well and letting themselves be heard now.
Roberts will take a knee. How about the throw and catch? Mayfield to Landry for 29 yards to set up the touchdown.
Big time. Big time throw, and it probably got a little more inside than what Mayfield wanted, but Middleton, he's got his hand in there, and yet strong hands right there by Jarvis Landry. I mean, ball's in his vicinity. There's a good chance he's coming down with it. And then, of course, the throw, and it's really good. There's a lot of good stuff that happened on that drive.
Including, at least from Cleveland's perspective, the offsetting penalties on the first two-point try that gave him another opportunity, and Mayfield was there on the receiving end. So tie game, under a minute to go, third quarter. Hand off to Powell running right, and a nice start, gain of 9. Last 5 possessions for the Jets. I've been thoroughly impressed with their defense. Offense cannot get any traction here against Greg Williams and his Browns defense.
Yeah, and that was the case last week. They just struggled to kind of get things going against the Dolphins, and you know, of course, they got those takeaways against Detroit. The game got away from the Lions pretty quickly, but the yards have been really hard to come by for this Jets offense.
This is a tie game through 3. Thursday Night Football will return after this. Welcome back to Thursday Night Football, presented by Bud Light. Fourth quarter begins, 2nd down and 1 for the Jets in a tie game. Led 14-0. Now 14-14. On 2nd down, handoff to Powell. Powell to the 45-yard line. Brought down by Demarius Randall, and a big carry of 21 yards for number 29.
This is that zone blocking scheme that they run for the Jets, and you stretch it, and then once you see the crease, you take it, and Bilal Powell, he's got the speed and the ability. Once he sees the crease, bam, he's in there, and it's a nice run for Bilal Powell.
Jets are now over 100 yards on the ground. This time Powell swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. That 21-yarder, the longest play of the game for the Jets, as Schobert made that last tackle. 2nd and 10.
Now they bring, you see Bilal Powell, he comes off the field, and then they go with Isaiah Crowell, and it's a nice tandem that they have, and as I said earlier, they've got so much confidence in both of these guys. There's no situation that one guy is specific for, and they just rotate them through.
2nd and 10, Darnold. Nowhere to go with it. Just able to get it to the sideline and incomplete, even though it was hauled in by Jordan Leggett. With Darnold, he's done that a couple of times in this game. You think he's throwing it away, and he ends up finding somebody on the sideline as he's scrambling for his life.
And some of that he's got to be real careful of, because when you start traversing the field like this as a quarterback, you're asking for a lot of bad things to happen. And I know that he's an improviser, and that's what he was able to do. And but then there's a tendency to get a little reckless with the ball as well. And that ball, it was not a real well-advised throw that he tried to fit in there.
Just got it away on 3rd down and 10. Darnold sideline, good throw. Pass is caught by Kearse. Exactly what the Jets needed, in one of the best throws of the night for Sam Darnold, a gain of 14.
It was great, as he just knew right where he was going with the football. He saw the coverage. He knew he had one-on-one on the outside, corner soft, and he comes right out and bangs it and picks up the 1st down. That's excellent. It's a perfectly thrown ball to Jermaine Kearse, and another set of downs.
First catch of the game for Kearse.
Yeah.
We're inside field goal range. The 1st down at the 31. Toss to Crowell, running left. Ran into 3 Cleveland Browns, including Schobert. Corner Terrence Mitchell was out there as well, a gain of 4.
Well, it's a nice drive right now for the Jets. You've got the Browns, who go down the field, and they tie the game up and score 14 unanswered. And now the Jets, they are mounting a drive of their own to come away with some points. It's a good job by them, just kind of answering it and trying to stack some plays together. As we talked about, it's been a bit of a struggle. They had the one drive in the first half for a score, and other than that, they really haven't had much.
Toss to Crowell, left side, nowhere to go. Lost yardage. First guy there was Jannard Avery, and a loss of 1.
Well, now what are we looking at? It's 3rd down, and I think that I haven't seen as much from Greg Williams as I expected. Just some of the all-out, let's go after this guy. But right here, with the ball at the 28-yard line, I could see where Greg Williams wants to dial something up, create a negative play, and try to knock them out of field goal range.
3rd down and 7. Darnold, Enunwa got a block and has a big 1st down. Derek Kindred on the stop, but a well-designed play out on the edge with blocking in front for 11 yards.
Well, we've seen it over and over. You've got Kearse, who's out there, and the guy who then is on Enunwa is TJ Carey, and he gets caught up on the outside, which creates this running lane on the inside. And we've seen it now throughout this game 3 or 4 times, the quick pass that's gone for good yardage, and this time a first down.
What a good block by Spencer Long out there to help with the 11-yard catch and run. Here's Powell. Powell back to the line of scrimmage. First guy there was Ogunjobi. By the way, that for the wide receiver in Nunwa. 3 first down catches on 3rd down. So when Darnold needs a play, he looks for 81.
Yeah, he really likes him. And Nunwa, he didn't get to play last year. He had the neck surgery. He came off the 2016 season doing a lot of really good things. They missed him, but you see the way he runs with the football. It's no wonder why they want to get the ball in his hands. You mentioned Spencer Long. What a good pickup. He's had some really nice blocks on a number of occasions, getting out in space to spring Nunwa.
10th play of this drive, and it's a negative play as Chris Smith makes the stop on Powell. A loss of 2.
He's just able to win at the line of scrimmage. He was able to work through Brian Winters, the right guard, and Smith he's one of those guys that wasn't on the team last year either. Very versatile. They're able to play him a lot of different positions. Right now, Greg Williams is saying, all right, let's just keep them short of a first down and force them to try to come away with just 3.
3rd down and 12. Passes over the middle and caught, but short of a first down by Jermaine Kearse. It's 4th down. And the field goal unit comes on for the Jets, trying to regain the lead.
It's a great job by Derek Kindred. He's the 3rd safety for them, and he's playing deep. And when the ball comes out, he has to hit it, get going and make a play and not let Kearse get to the chains. And he makes a good tackle there in the open field.
28-yard try here. Shorter than an extra point for Jason Myers. Jets back on top. Good game. Under 9 to go here in Cleveland. Darnold, solid drive. Gets points on the board. And the Jets up by 3.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the NFL.
So I'm at the hotel today, and I come off the elevator on the 7th floor, and I run smack into Ringo Starr.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of like unnerving to just walk right into one of the Beatles.
Yeah, I mean,
did not get the sense he was here for the Browns game.
Yeah, well, you never know. Maybe he's performing at the celebration if they win this game.
Jets on top by 3. Under 9 to go. And Callaway will take a knee. Take a look at our next gen stats, and the biggest play of the night, really for either side with regard to yardage, definitely for Cleveland, was this catch by Jarvis Landry of 29 yards to set up 1st and goal at the 1. Talking about a guy who with Miami had 400 catches over his first 4 years. Last season with the Dolphins, 7 targets of 20 or more air yards. First 2 games, 4. That was his first of tonight's game against the Jets.
Well, last year he had 112 receptions, which led the league, but he was 17th in total yards, and he averaged less than 9 yards a catch last year, so they never got it down the field.
Here's one. What an effort. Good throw, but no catch by Antonio Callaway. Look, Callaway's getting a chance to play. 4th round pick. Slid down draft boards because of problems in college. Failed drug test. Had it, lost it. But he's playing because the Browns finally had enough of Josh Gordon.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Joe, that route was a good route. He gave his quarterback a place to throw the football. He just didn't finish it, didn't make the catch. They're putting Claiborne on him. He can't run with Callaway.
Here is Hyde for 10.
mean,
and they're going to give him a first down. Here's the drop.
Yeah, so many times these receivers, they run a go route and they squeeze the sideline. They give the quarterback nowhere to put the ball because you got to lay it to the outside. He did a nice job. He didn't get jammed. He got off the line, gave Mayfield a place to go with the football, and it's just a shame because that was a perfectly thrown ball.
Mayfield 11 of 16, 141 yards, 2 drops. First down. Pass is caught by Landry. Landry gets 4. So talking about Josh Gordon, who gets traded to the Patriots for a 5th-round pick. He was an All-Pro in 2013. Had over 1,600 receiving yards. Here he is in number 10. He wore 12 here. 12 taken in New England, by the way. And because of all the suspensions, he had played in only 11 games for the last 4+ years. Showed up late on Saturday. The Browns had had enough and told him that they would be moving on Monday, and that's what they did when they traded him to the Patriots.
And I couldn't agree with it more. We were here doing a preseason game. We know the history with Josh Gordon. We know how patient this organization has been with him. He did not show up for training camp. They were very patient with that. And John Dorsey, I think, and Hugh Jackson did all that they could to support that young man. And at some point, it's not fair to the other players on this team. And I know he's a talented guy, and I get all that. But at some point, you got to hold people accountable and treat them like adults. Just say, look, we're not going to put up with it any longer, and they didn't. I think it was a good move, and I think it probably galvanized this locker room.
3rd and 5, pass caught. Johnson, a spin move on the sideline. And that ball is out, recovered by the Browns. And that was Higgins. He stayed in bounds, and with all those moves along the sideline, it was knocked out of his arms, but Higgins was there to recover at the 45. That was a nice conversion on 3rd down and 5, and here's the end of it. That ball is out.
Yeah, it was out, and Higgins does a good job and Avery Williamson having a good game. He's the one who rips it out. But Duke Johnson, they split him out. Shows us what he's capable of doing as a receiver.
Mayfield, pass behind, but caught by Higgins to the 25. And now they're going to mark him back at the 26.
Well, Baker Mayfield sees safety in the middle of the field, and he's got a free release seam route right up the hash, and that's where you go with the ball. He's seeing the field exceptionally well. He knows what the defense is presenting to him, and he's getting the ball to the right people.
Pass is off the chest of Landry. And that'll go down as the 3rd drop.
You see Baker here. He sees the safety. Now he's going to get a free release right here up the seam. And once he sees that movement and that rotation, okay, who's my guy running the seam where I can fit a ball in there? Comes right back off of that. And it's funny because you see Jarvis Landry make the ridiculous catches like you see there. And just a routine ball like that, you wonder how that even happens. But he let it get in on his chest and bounced off his shoulder pads.
Well, he's got some zip. Here's Hyde looking for a cutback, not there. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Mayfield, it's a different looking football coming out of his hand than we saw earlier in the game with Tyrod Taylor. That ball got in on Landry, I think, faster than he thought. That's why it ended up drilling him in the shoulder pad.
And this is going to sound a little strange, but some quarterbacks, the way in which they throw it, there's more rotation on the ball than when some other quarterbacks throw it. Warren Moon was like that. He threw a tight, highly rotated ball when it came out in a tight spiral. And Baker, watching him, I mean, that thing's got some revolutions on it, and it's a little different. I agree with that.
Here's one to Callaway out of bounds near the marker for the first down. Good throw, good catch. Browns in business inside the 16.
It's a really nice job of. They brought the blitz off the edge. They brought Trumaine Johnson off the edge, which is what you want to do. Make sure this kid knows where the blitzes are coming from. And Baker picks it up. So Trumaine Johnson comes off. He's got a guy wide open. A lot of young quarterbacks, I can assure you, would not have seen that and would have got hit in the back of the head.
Here's Hyde on first down, still going. Flag on the play. Hyde in for the touchdown. But it's against Cleveland. So erase the celebration.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Against Landry blocking for Hyde. And there it is right in the middle of the screen as he shoved Perry Nickerson to the ground.
It didn't take much.
Mike Pereira says good call. And moves it back to the 19.
This is the matchup here they've been taken advantage of a little bit with Antonio Callaway.
Mayfield over the middle, pass is caught, big hit. Landry survived the hit from Middleton. 3rd and short.
That's a great throw by Baker Mayfield. There was a small window. The underneath coverage did not allow for much space. You see the linebacker who just was unable to get his hands on it, Avery Williamson. Wow. He's right there. And he fit that into a tight spot. That's awfully good. That shows off some of that accuracy I was talking about that he displayed at the University of Oklahoma.
2nd down and 1. Handoff to Chubb. The rookie. Chubb to the 1. Good play. Avery Williamson, what a night he's had. And that strong tackle kept Carlos Hyde out of the end zone.
Yeah, Avery Williamson has really played well, and then Darren Lee was also down there making a play, and see if maybe they don't come off of this with a little play action.
Under 3 to go. 2nd and goal.
Hey, under. What? You gotta go back. You're good. Pull.
Landry on the toss. Back to the line of scrimmage. It's 3rd and goal. Steve McClendon, the big man in the middle, 99, was in there to stuff that play.
Yeah, they executed it very well. Everyone stayed true to their assignments, didn't give any kind of lane off the shovel.
We're going to have to snap it before the 2-minute warning. Extra offensive lineman. Austin Corbett comes in.
6-2.
Down by 3, 3rd and goal.
This will be a great stand by this Jets defense. They're able to hold here.
180.
Handoff. High. Touchdown.
See Joel Bitonio, the left guard, he pulls, he kind of leads the way, and then Carlos Hyde celebrating his 28th birthday today with his 2nd touchdown.
Big extra point here. The lead is 4. The #1 overall pick, Heisman Trophy winner Baker Mayfield, As this crowd in a frenzy, and the Browns up 4.
Just watch me now. Just watch me now.
Well, the new sheriff in town here in Cleveland, Baker Mayfield, former walk-on at OU, then Heisman Trophy winner, and now here on Thursday, September 20th, with an injury to the starter Tyrod Taylor. Time, it looked like, was running out on Taylor anyway. Mayfield took over, and he's got the Browns, who went off as a 3-point favorite, leading by 4, and now the Jets will try to answer as they've got to get it down into the end zone. 3 timeouts, just over 2 to go.
Tell you what, Baker Mayfield's had a heck of a second half. If it weren't, he's 17 of 23, 200 yards, and he's had 3 or 4 drop passes in there as well.
Empty back there with Darnold. That was tipped and nearly picked. Off 2 hands, and then Terrence Mitchell had a shot at it. Enunwa was the target. Not yet. 2 minutes left. Second down for the Jets, down 4.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Microsoft Surface.
2 minutes left in Cleveland, Ohio, as they hope to celebrate all over Northeast Ohio. Baker Mayfield, his drives tonight, if you take the kneel down before half out of it, he's had points on all but 1 possession. Browns leading, pass caught by Robbie Anderson, who turned the ball over earlier in this second half. Had a fumble last week against the Dolphins. That one good for 5. 3rd down and 5. Tyrod Taylor was injured. Baker Mayfield took over, and the #1 overall pick as his team up, the #3 overall pick, Darnold, trying to ruin the storyline for Baker Mayfield and the Browns. Flag before the snap.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Against Brandon Shell.
Lee! Yeah!
3rd down and 10. Darnold uses his legs. 4th down. And now a look over to the sideline and a decision. 3 timeouts left, 1:48. 4th down and 10. And Darnold stays out there.
I'm surprised by this, Joe. I would think with 3 timeouts, they're backed up, that they would punt, and then, you know, they got time. They would get the ball back if they're able to make a stop with over a minute left in the game. And this surprises me.
This to have any hope here in week 3. Pass, what a catch! Jermaine Kearse saves the Jets on 4th and 10. Good for 12.
Well, this is a great catch by Jermaine Kearse. I mean, you see he had fingertips on it, still moving and securing it.
Not reviewed. It would have to be called for from the booth. Inside of 2 minutes. Pass picked. Joe Schobert. Browns take over. It's been 635 days since the Browns have celebrated a win. They're 1:21 away.
It's not over yet.
Coming up on the U.S. Army postgame show, reaction to Baker Mayfield's first game. I'd say it's gone well. And the star of the game on the set, I'd say that would be Mayfield. Barring the unforeseen, here's a handoff to Hyde. And a timeout taken by the Jets. They have 2 left. Back to the interception.
There's Schobert there, but Spencer Long gets jammed back into Sam Darnold's face. Darnold, when he's about to pull the trigger on Kearse, he can't because Spencer Long is in his lap, and he tries to then slide. And by that time, to the middle, late. Schobert, who missed an opportunity earlier in this ball game for interception, comes up big and secures that one. And you see the...
And that says it all there.
Oh,
great sports fans here in Cleveland. They lost their franchise, went to Baltimore. They got the team back.
But they've got to get a first down here to end this game.
The second version of the Browns, the reboot, started in '99. Here's Hyde. Good play is made. Again, it's Avery Williamson. Now 1 timeout left for the Jets. And it'll be 3rd down for Cleveland. Sunday at 9, Kurt Warner goes one-on-one with Russell Wilson. Plus the guys preview Carson Wentz's return to the field. NFL Game Day morning, Sunday at 9, live on NFL Network. Baker Mayfield, Troy, came into this game with 1:42 left in the first half. At that point, the Browns trailed 14-0. Mayfield has had only 1 drive, if you don't count the kneel down before the half, where they didn't come away with points. They've gone field goal and back-to-back touchdowns the last 3 times they've had it. They lead by 4.
Hey, you guys
Been impressive. And I think he has great numbers, but I think a lot of times you can't even look at the numbers. I think the kid's just a winner.
3rd down and 6. Hyde is going to be about a yard short of a first down. Jamal Adams made the stop, and the Jets will call a timeout. And so now you have a 4th down for Cleveland. You have a kicker that you don't know in Greg Joseph, who has been anything but automatic, albeit 2 for 2. And we'll see what Hugh Jackson wants to do. Mayfield's numbers in under 32 minutes: 17 for 23, 201 yards, no touchdowns or picks, 3 drops. So the numbers could be even better. And they signed the new kicker, but right now they're going to bring their punter on, and they're going to pass on what would be a 53-yard try.
Yeah, I think, you miss that, and then you're setting the Jets up with a lot of time and great field position. No question, this is the right call. Not knowing that kicker.
Over the head of Roberts, checks up inside the 10, and well played. Good punt by Britton Colquitt and Derek Kindred downfield, as they will mark it at the 6. 30-yard punt, no return.
Well, Colquitt did his job. An outstanding punt. Now Sam Darnold gets one more crack at it
with no timeouts. We talked to Greg Williams leading into this game and talked to him about how well the defense had played, all the takeaways, coming in with 8, only 10 points off those 8 takeaways. I said, is there any division between offense and defense with this team? And he said, I told our guys, until you shut somebody out, I don't want to hear a word. Now they've got Mayfield putting up points, and it's the defense on the field trying to end it.
Well, this is the guy who can wreak havoc, Myles Garrett. They better have an answer for blocking him.
From the end zone, pass is caught. Big chunky yards to Pryor. And the former Cleveland Brown is out to the 31. A 25-yard completion with now 40 seconds left in the game.
That's a big chunk. That's what they needed. They're going to need another one as well. Everything's going to get funneled to the middle.
Darnold tripped up. And we'll see what they call. The ball came out.
Yeah, was he
like a forward pass, but we'll see if they're going to mark him down.
There's no intentional grounding. The quarterback was outside the pocket.
Yeah. He was
Second
outside
down.
the pocket, but he's got the ball in his hand with his knee on the ground, and they'll look at that. So this right now is being ruled as an incomplete pass, and we expect that to change. Yeah. So the review called for from upstairs. Meanwhile, if you're a Browns fan, you're thinking they've come up with some creative ways to lose games over this stretch of 635 days, but it just has a different feel here tonight with Baker Mayfield and this defense. Mike, did you see what I saw?
Yeah, and the significance here, not a lot in yardage, but it is clock. So since they ruled it as an incomplete pass, now you're going to take it back to the knee being down, and the clock is going to restart. So that's really the significance of this review.
Joe, to follow up with what you said, it does certainly have a different feel, but I think it's had a different feel for much of the offseason. You know, when John Dorsey came in and with all those picks that they had and the players that were in this draft, the quarterbacks and the opportunities that they had in front of them, of course, Hard Knocks didn't hurt anything either. People got a chance to really get exposed and get to know a lot of these players. But yeah, there's been some real optimism.
The quarterback was down by contact at the 29-yard line. Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 29 seconds.
John Dorsey's fingerprints are all over this game with Baker Mayfield, the trade for Jarvis Landry. Now, and Mike Pereira, they're going to take time off the clock here because they overturned what was initially called an incomplete pass.
Because they ruled it a stop clock, then they reversed it to a running clock. And when you do that inside of 2 minutes, you run 10 seconds off the clock, which is what they did. And the clock starts on Jerome Boger's signal like it did now.
On second down and 12, Darnold airs it out downfield. Pass is picked by Mitchell. Browns are going to win.
Open the coolers.
What a moment for number 6 to go out there, take a knee, and that'll end the night. It's reviewed because it's a turnover, and the clear pick is made by Terrence Mitchell. Another pickup by John Dorsey, the unrestricted free agent from the Chiefs, as they revamp this secondary. Mayfield and the Browns get the win over the Jets. The 9th Heisman-winning quarterback to go number 1 overall in the following draft, Baker Mayfield. A surprise pick by many. The Browns knew they had their man when they saw him wing it, and when they saw how those around him at the program at OU responded to him. He's a leader. He's got swagger. He can sing it. It all showed here tonight.
Well, it sure did, and he'll get a chance this weekend because it's a Thursday night. They'll be off. He'll get to soak it in, as will Greg Williams and this entire organization. It has been a long time, and I've got to believe that after tonight, the Baker Mayfield era has begun, and he'll be making his first NFL start in 10 days at Oakland.
What a night here in Cleveland, Ohio, as they celebrate. Baker Mayfield will be on the set tonight on our post-game show. Thanks for watching Thursday Night Football, presented by Bud Light. Browns win it by 4 over the Jets. What a night in Ohio.